Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. In this video, we are going to be trying to predict the try scorers for the upcoming round of the Rugby Championship. But if you do enjoy this concept, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It is myself, and this week we have got Distracted Sports. Tony, how you going, mate? I see you got
Very
the wine
good.
in hand.
Wine in hand, ready to go. Did you just say if you enjoy this concept?
Yes.
Oh, this is a concept video. Holy
A little bit. We're throwing balls to the wall.
My first sentence, I swore. I just want to put that out there. I apologize. If you need to bleep it, it's okay. If you need to dislike this video, do it immediately because I swore.
Don't, you know, maybe don't do that.
Go to a distracted Kiwi, a distracted sports video and dislike one of those if you really need to dislike something. It's okay.
Here we go. So the concept is going to be as follows. This will make a lot more sense as the weeks go on, but the gist of it is very similar to golf. You want the lowest score possible. We do get 5 picks each, 4 try scorers. You have to have 3 of the 4 nations included in your 5 picks. You aren't allowed the same position in multiple teams for yourself either, which does mean if you select a hooker, you aren't able to have another hooker just on the ready to go, I guess.
Ask me how I am.
How are you? You good?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for asking. I think right now, this is the peak of my YouTubing career, like being on the Kiwi Lads channel.
And I also just done a video with 2 cents though.
It's more fry compared to the Kiwi cents, the Kiwi Lads. This is it. And I just want to point out that there was a monumentous moment for the Kiwi Lads channel not that long ago, where it was literally just my confused face for about 5 seconds. That was huge.
Yes, the Wi-Fi cut out and he was just left in limbo by himself while I had to try and connect back up. But I guess I should also mention, if we don't get a player in the starting lineup right, you get an automatic 20 points, which is actually more than the maximum you could get or the minimum you could get for the whole competition. Theoretically, you could get 15 points minimum, 100 maximum.
I've got a question, Hamish. What are the if I choose a prop and he scores a try, what am I getting?
You are getting 3 points. So depending on the position that they are and also the number on the back of their kit, that is how many points you get. So yes, you would think picking someone who's playing number 2 is a very good option.
A number 11 is not a bad option then.
That is true. Whereas number 14, you're a little bit closer to that 20. But if he's guaranteed to score, in your opinion, should go for him. So there'll be a little bit of tactical thinking behind this series. Yes, the scratch of the beard. I can do that now because South Africa haven't lost it. Oh, hang on.
Well, you can both do it because we've both been through puberty. I went through puberty about 20 years before you did.
Almost before I was born.
I did, actually. I did. We had this conversation the other day. I realized that I had a pregnancy scare before you were born, so technically you could be my child.
Although, what was the second part of that pregnancy scare?
She was an Indian woman, so you're a very pale Indian.
Yes, I don't go out in the sun much. But first of all, we've got to pick our order for the draft, don't we? I've got a random number generator, which doesn't come through very nice at all.
I would rather be number 1.
Okay, so you are number 1. I am number 2. Here we go. Right. It's very blurry. You see that there?
It's number 1.
It's number 2.
That's your number 1.
Well, that's what it starts on, isn't it? Straight into it. So for me, first choice, you got to look at the guys who you think are pretty likely to score a try. And for me this week, I am going number 2 for the All Blacks, Samisoni Taukei'aho. Reason I'm going with him, you're not happy with that one?
You absolute bugger. You've gone Samisoni Taukei'aho.
I have.
He was in one of my picks. I really wanted him. So good choice.
I think he's got a good chance up against Argentina. He seems to have that little bit of explosive acceleration. And also with the rolling maul, I think the All Blacks will consider going to that a little bit throughout the game up against the Pumas just to try and wear them down a bit. So Samisoni Taukei'aho.
Yeah, with Jace Ryan as well coaching there, you can see massive improvements in the forwards, and they really fronted up, represented up front against the Saffers, and he got that try. He's obviously got the nose for the line. He's scored lots of tries in Super Rugby too, so I think that's a good call. You absolute bastard.
Thank you very much. So now you get the draft pick. Who would you like as your first try scorer?
I love him. I've actually picked my players on sex appeal. So the sexier they are, the more likely they are to be on my list. So
fair enough.
I need to sneeze. This is my sneeze face. Keep this in.
It looks like you're a very confused face.
Oh no, I've got to sneeze. You guys know that? Mention in the comments if you know my sneeze. If you have a similar sneeze face.
If you know what my sneeze face looks like.
All right, sorry. So my number one pick, I'm going for the prop from Argentina. Scored a try last week. Also got a fight picked with him by Thomas Lavavini. It's got to be Thomas Gallo. It's a sensational player. One of my favorite props of the tournament so far. He's good money, and if he comes in, that's some low points. That's some low
It
points.
is. In fact, the lowest points you can get.
Yeah, that's like a hole in one, basically, isn't it? We're going to get more 20s than anything else, I think. All right, well, look, I'm going to pass it back to you now, Hambo.
Thank you very much.
You can take your next pick. Can we call you Hambo?
I guess so. I think Hambo's normally the more common one.
I like Hambo.
So, next of all, strategically, like I mentioned, we're going to have 3 players across the board from different countries. So that means now...
I've got this dang sneeze coming back.
You look like you're trying to solve a crime. I am actually going to be going with a second All Black. I'm getting them locked in before you get them. So I am going with Ardie Savea.
Oh, cheap. He scored in the Irish series, didn't he?
I believe so. I think, did he score up against South Africa as well, or did he just miss out?
No, I don't think
he got extremely close down the wing, but then managed to find it on the inside.
And he also was over the line, but it was an absolute Herculean effort by Eben Etzebeth to pull him back from over the line. That was amazing. That was shades of Jerome Kaino in 2011.
So I think he's going to be a good shout for the ABs. Normally loves playing on New Zealand soil, but he just seems to be working so much harder than a lot of the other forwards for the ABs. Although last game, we actually saw everyone pulling their weight, which was great to see. Is Ardie Savea. It's been quite a tough season for him, having to pretty much do everything.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been the one guy who hasn't let us down once, and he's just been trying his butt off the whole damn game. And, looking very, very disheartened at the end of games because he's left it all out there and just – and a lot of people argue that he should maybe be the captain at the moment. I think Sam Cane did a lot of good things in the victory over South Africa, but missed a couple of tackles and still makes the balance of the loose trio, I should say, a little bit off, having him there all the time. You know what I'm saying? You're picking up what I'm putting down?
I am picking it up. Are you saying you'd like a blues man, Dalton Papali'i, possibly there, or would you go Savea to 7 and gets the 2-2?
No, I would think I might. It's a really tough one because Savea's a dynamic 7 and a great 7. Probably not as good a pilferer of a ball as Dalton Papali'i at the moment. Dalton Papali'i is a real classic 7, and I don't think I can. Who was a better 7 in the Super Rugby competition recently than Dalton Papali'i? Can you think of anyone? I can't. He was golden. He really was. So I would love to see him in the squad in some way, and also I'd love to see Hoskins Sotutu get a bit of a crack in there as well. But hey, we're not selecting the team, are we? I am going to go. It's a similar sort of flight. We've done too many All Blacks. We're going to get grief about. I haven't done. This is my first All Black. I just want to point out. I thought that he had a massive game last week. He is in that loose trio. He really is. If he puts in another performance like he did last week, I think he can make that number 6 spot his. He's not Squidge Rugby's favorite player, but I thought he played particularly well against South Africa, and I'm going to go with Shannon Frizzell. I think he, big, powerful man, can score at any stage when he's close to the line. Has a bit of pace to him as well. You wouldn't want to tackle him in the open either. So, I think he's a good bet. And with that number 6 on his back, I think that's a fair return.
It's kind of like the odds, isn't it, with the TAB? How we're trying to work out how much money we're getting back.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I was trying to work out is in terms of what's the punishment. What's the punishment at the end of this? I like stakes.
How fond are you of your beard?
Oh, yeah. No, I can't shave the beard. It's for religious reasons. Actually, if I've been told by my partner if I ever shave my beard, then that would be it. It would be over for us. Curtains. True story.
Well, you better win then, though. I mean, I was going to have a gift card on the line, for the winner.
Well, look, it can't just be a gift card for me if I win. What if you win? What do you? I'll give you a gift card.
Gift cards. I was going to say I like gift cards too.
A $20 gift card? Can we afford that?
Sounds good.
Yours will be to farmlands. Isn't that? Is that?
We've currently got a lamb sitting on our table, so that makes sense here.
Yeah, exactly.
That checks out. Jumping in for the third pick now. Now, I've already picked all my All Blacks, so I'm not allowed any more of them.
No.
So now it's the big question of which team do I transfer to? And I believe it's It's going to be to the Springboks. I am going Makazole Mapimpi, the number 11, as my next pick to be able to score a try. Now, he's got pace. He's got a great strike rate at international level. And when it comes to those points, 11 is still pretty much half of 20. So it's not too bad of a payoff for picking him rather than going.
Not a bad bet. Did he score in both games against New Zealand recently? Did he score in their first game? Or was it Curly and Reese?
Oh, he got extremely close to scoring in that second one, but he had it disallowed. And Kurtley Arinsa, I believe, was the try scorer in the first. But yeah, he had that beautiful run when he linked up with Lukanyuam, and then Jaden Hendrickse did block Whitelock, and then it was disallowed. Which was a shame because it was a very good try. Oh, actually, no, he got one after that as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I thought he got one of the. Yeah, exactly. There was that big, massive. Was that Damian Lender did that massive pass after there was a turnover? There was a penalty just after that, and then there was a turnover from the resulting kickoff.
I think Mwonga ended up getting a little bit trapped, didn't he?
There's actually a good flavour of Crusaders players in this All Black team, isn't there?
They've added, probably not as many in that starting lineup as some people were suspecting.
Yeah, I sent you a text earlier today saying, can we use reserves? And that was for a reason, because I wanted to believe. Do you believe in fairy tales? Do you believe in magic?
Depends who's doing it. You going to pull up your thumb or something? Or?
No, I'm not doing. I'm just talking about sporting magic, sporting fairy tales.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm thrilled to see Stephen Pettifetta.
Sorry, continue.
I was trying to make a sensible point. I'm saying that I was thrilled to see Stephen Pettifetta in the squad. At least, hopefully, I'm sure he'll get on the field. I would love to believe in magic and say that he's going to score on debut. But that's just my personal pick, not for the game. I think he's going to score on debut. But that's not the official pick because you can't pick reserves, can you, Hamish?
No, it's only in the starting 15. So if your guy gets injured in the first minute, like if you have Faf de Klerk in that first test match up against the All Blacks, unlucky, unfortunately.
It's the game. What are you actually calling the game? What's the name of the game?
I haven't worked out what the name of this one is. I guess it's like try score is something, but not literally something.
What about Hamish from Kiwi Lads, Pit of Doom?
I mean, it's got a ring to it, but I don't know whether or not they'll put the two together. But hey, guys, we're doing try scorer predictions.
That's obviously try scorer predictions where we've got some convoluted system about getting low points. Pit of Doom. I'm going to pick a man. Got a relatively high number on his back, but he's as much of a sure thing of getting a try at the moment as you can kind of pick. Not quite. But just the world's best player. Hard to leave him out of a try-scoring pick just with his supreme talent. I think he's just one of those types of guys. Lukanyuam, I'm going to pick him. I know he's got a big and high number on his back. I'm trying to play a little bit of the that's a strategic choice. I know it's not a huge high number, but I think if I can bag and get rid of 7 points there rather than the resulting 20, I think 13 is a good result for Lukanyuam. So I'm going to put Lukanyuam in there. Did I make it clear that I'm picking Lukanyuam?
Yes, sir. Okay. You do look like a teacher, don't you? What class would you teach, do you think?
I would teach feminist art in post-communist Cambodia. This is what I would teach. Studies of feminist art in post-communist Cambodia. Do you have any thoughts on feminist art in post-communist Cambodia?
I always found that I quite enjoyed digital because we got to play games.
That doesn't have much to do with feminist art and post-communist Cambodia. What do you reckon? Lukanyuam's a good choice?
I think he is, because at the moment, the fact that man's getting over 100 running meters per game, theoretically, with the rugby field only being 100 meters, if he gets it just out from his line, shoots all the way down. Yep. Him and Makazole Mapimpi, I think it's going to be a case of, because they both got almost 150 in that last game for meters carried and a whole heap of defenders beaten. Is it going to be one or the other?
It's probably going to be one of them if we go by the odds, I'd say. That could be both. So you have to pick 3 teams. I reckon we should pick 4. I reckon we should make it tough.
You think you should have everyone?
You should have to have one from each team.
Go Savia, so now I can't go Pablo. So we have got a rule that has changed on the fly. You now have to have 4 teams involved in the selection. So that means you need one side, one player from every rugby championship side, which does mean now I have got 1 Argentine and 1 Australian left in my selection. And for yourself, I believe you've got 1 Australian, but then also you have a freedom of picking anyone from any side. So
That's right.
Number 4 pick. got to think through. I'd love to have a number 8 with Valentini or Pablo Matera, but due to the fact I've already got Adi Savia, I am going to say, first of all, I look at the Wallabies because you haven't gone to the Wallabies yet, so I feel like that's a little bit strategic going for them. And I am actually going to go with Fraser McWright as my Wallabies try scorer, open side flanker, very dangerous individual, definitely in the breakdown, getting those turnovers, and has got a pretty good support run from what we've seen for the Reds. It's risky going with another forward just because I've already got quite a few in my selections, but I am going Fraser McWright. I think he's got a decent chance of being able to get over the line up against the box.
Yeah, you get decent reward for the forwards. That's this is a game for the forwards, really, isn't it? You don't pick your flashy outside backs that much. There isn't a lot of anyone picking Geordie Barrett's of this. Well,
I know a lot of people are saying that is he the option at 15, or is it Will Jordan who goes in there? So they did go Jordan.
I would love to see. I think Will Jordan is just one of those freakish players, like on the ilk of kind of Christian Cullen. So I would love to see him, attack from the back. He's just so elusive, and he's just such a silky mover, and just so evasive. Probably doesn't have that step that Cully had, but boy, he is a quality player. And I think just him being stuck on one edge the whole time just limits his potency a little bit. He's always going to be great in space, but I think for his maximum attacking potency, it would be at number 15. So I'm part of that. Bill. I think, is it all just around kicking? We don't have a decent kicker in this goal kicker.
I believe so, but Moonga did all right, didn't he? And Havili can strike him from 50 out if he needs to, I guess. Second glass, is it?
Yeah.
Right, jumping straight in. Who have you got as your number 4?
Once you said Pablo Matera, I was like, oh, that's a tasty little one. But I do have to pick a Wallaby. And this was in my original list. And I think despite having a very strange haircut, which a lot of them do these days, I'm just old. I don't get these new things. But I'm going to have to go with Rob Valentini. I think that he's a real powerhouse off the back of the scrum. He's involved in a lot of the most attacking threats in that part, in that part of the game, from the back of mauls, from the back of scrums and all that sort of stuff. And he's a hard man to bring down, especially close to the line. So for 8 points, I'm going to go with Rob Valentini. Lock it in. Final answer.
And yeah, like you mentioned, the number 8s at the moment, no matter which team you're going for, because we didn't even think about Dwayne Vermeulen as an option at number 8. But who knows? Maybe he is an absolute blinder.
I had to get a Wallaby in there. So that was my Wallaby pick.
So now you're allowed anyone for this final one, aren't you?
Just free reign. Absolutely.
Whereas for me, I am missing a Puma.
You're missing a Puma. And you've already used your 8, haven't you?
That is true. I've used my 8, so no Pablo Matera. I've used my 7, so no Marcos Crema. And I've used my number 2, so no Julian Montoya.
What about, if I was you, I would go for the Argentinian psycho, Thomas Lavavini. That would be
He's actually been on my mind a little bit, but then I was wondering, is it too many?
You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Sorry, pardon me. You started, I went off onto a song there.
It was a nice little breakaway, wasn't it?
It was.
This is brought to you by wine.
No, dude, this is just how I am. This is nothing to do with wine.
So now, number 5, my Argentine. I'm not going with the number 5, Thomas Lavanini. That was a very smooth transition if I was going with him. But instead, I am going to be going with a bit more of a risky option here. Well, risky but not risky. I'm going Emiliano Boffelli, number 14 for Argentina.
Oh, but that's
so he's not worth a huge amount of points, but I think he's more likely to score. He has done it in the past up against the All Blacks, so he knows where the line is. I think he could be very handy. And also, since he will be kicking, he should get a majority of the game to have the opportunity of being able to score.
Right, they're going to keep him on the pitch. Yeah, and he scored that massive try against the Scottish, didn't he, in the end of Game 3, which was immense. He's been playing very
massive tour, wasn't it? That was one of my favourite tours involving both of those sides in a long time.
Yeah, that was great. That was awesome. He plays for does he play for Edinburgh? I think. Okay, well, I think that's a pretty solid one. That's a strategic one. You're just trying to make sure you don't get a 20 there.
Yeah, I think so. Because that's the thing. I would have loved to go pretty much all those options that I listed with Crema, Matera, or Julian Montoya. Lavanini was close, but I'm worried with how much passion he puts out there on the field. Maybe he ends up getting a card early on that might get him taken off.
Absolutely. Who's the reserve lock that comes on for the Pumas as well?
Guido Petty. Very
right.
handy.
Right. So he's likely to come on around 50 minutes or so, at least.
Somewhere around there. Recently returning from injury, so they may try and slightly give him a slow build-up, but
sure,
very handy. I feel like if we were going reserves, he probably would have been one that was worth a shout. If we were doing the game of how many turnovers can an individual get.
Oh, is that another game, is it?
What are we going to call that one? Not the pit of doom. What would that be?
The slip and slide of fury. Look, I think this is a good one. A very famous number in rugby history, especially for the All Blacks. It's the number 11. Very famous players have played in that jersey. And I think we've got a cracker. I don't think we've seen his best form so far, but I think he's due for a big performance. Being back in New Zealand, out of injury, I think Caleb Clark is a good shout. So I'm going to go Caleb Clark, and that's a nice little 11. It's not a 15. It's not a 14. Getting 11 on his back, we'll take that. We'll take that one.
So I think we've both actually got 2 backs, 3 forwards, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, well, I think so. We're going relatively similar strategies here.
But that's the thing. As soon as if we do add more people into this game, if you call it a game, like all of a sudden you're going to have that situation of it's going to come down to the nitty gritty of who gets the draft pick order to be able to get those first picks locked in before getting too far down. You may end up getting stuck with a player maybe you don't want to select, but then he could be the one who scores.
Yeah, 2 cents would be great at this. He would love it. He would love it. We'll get him involved.
Well, maybe don't show him this one where you say that it wasn't a worthy collaboration.
No, he very much is. He very much is. Anytime I have a conversation with him about rugby, I just look like this. Okay, well, I think we've got some pretty good picks. Is there any of your picks that you regret? Is there any of them that you were kind of like, look, you feel ashamed of in any way that you think?
I mean, I don't know about ashamed per se, but
ashamed is a strong word. I'll give you that.
I regret the picking that I did so that I couldn't pick one of those Argentine forwards, just because there's 3 very good options there that I haven't gone with. But I think Emiliano Boffelli, from what he's done, I'm pretty happy with being able to lock him in. I'm glad I got the first pick because I think Samisoni Takiaho was probably right up there on your list as well.
Quite happy getting. Oh, he was definitely on my list. I was quite happy getting Thomas Gallo though. That was a good one. Yeah, that would be a massive pick. Tell you what, I'll be doing some high fives if he scores. I will be. That's called a clap, Tony. I assume you're going to be live streaming and commentating. The best in the game, Kiwi lads. You know it. The best commentator on the internet.
I'm quickly going to get a calculator up so that we can work out what our possible best is for both of us as well in comparison.
Oh, wow.
Okay, 39. Remember that number.
39 would be a perfect night for me. But
how old are you? Are you older or younger than 39?
I will be 39 in September. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Is it your birthday?
Hold on. Wait a second. Hold on.
I was expecting you to get up and have no pants on.
Are we jamming?
So I have 42 points on the line, whereas you have 39. So extremely close.
I don't know either of those songs. So congratulations. It's beautiful.
Of course, you're talking the South African one or Happy Birthday?
Either. I know the I know the songs. I've been on the guitar. Imagine being at a birthday party and then everyone starts to sing Happy Birthday and you're like, I don't know this one. Who wrote this?
Right, so you've got a possible 39 points that you could have minimum. I've got a possible 42. So actually very even for ourselves in this one. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy this concept, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Check out Distracted Sports as well. At the time of filming this, he is 1 subscriber away from the 3,000. At the time that this comes out, he would have already hit it. I'm that confident in it. Or else he'll shave his beard. Nonetheless, thank you very much.
Hey, wait. Oh, it's there. We got there. We've clicked over. It must have been what you just said. You put it into the ether. We're on 3,000 exactly now. So that's
there
huge.
You go.
Thank you so much for having me, mate. This was a lot of fun. I look forward to all the comments about me wearing a stupid hat. Thanks.
It should be good. Should be good fun. But nonetheless, we will see you all for the next one.